If you struggle with boundaries, you're gonna struggle with no contact. I personally don't struggle with boundaries.
Strictly energy vampires. That all they're put on this earth to do is suck the life out of somebody. And if you are that victim, then that's you.
Choosing ourselves, we're the bad black person in our community. Every other community, the white guy, the Spanish guy, they can make millions and then they can choose them and their families and exile everything else and they get praised. The second we start choosing ourselves, it's the issue.
Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Eight at the Table. Today, we have our usual here on the couch. It's me, Amanda. We have Rico, we have Erin The Renegade, and we have Rome. So today...
mad flat, Rome. Go ahead.
Rome.
That's fine.
Yeah, Rome, are you offended?
Rico didn't say anything nasty to me the last episode, so he's trying to make up for it.
Are we going to let that go, or we're going to let it go?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
all right.
Rico.
We'll ignore Rico.
To me. That was so old.
First.
We're going to be reading a prompt. And we're going to discuss said prompt. Okay, so let's get into it. Oh, yes. This right. Came in on the Ask Amanda.
Where can they find Ask Amanda?
And we're gonna create an Instagram page. So look out for that. But in the meantime,
don't ask me shit.
We can't let
you ain't gonna want to know what I gotta say. Amanda's gonna be so nice about it.
In the meantime, just send all of the.
She just read it. She just answer it. Just read the shit.
You're right.
Yes. Asking who?
Just send it to the Eight at the Table DM for right now. We'll redirect at a later time when we have an official Ask Amanda page. But for right now, just DM Eight at the Table.
I'll laugh at you before we start filming though.
It's just foolish. Some of the stuff is kind of real.
Small if.
Yeah.
Super small.
Guys,
but I mean, entertain us if you please. Yeah. Okay? But, we'll be discussing on the couch. But, okay. So this one says, went no contact when I found out my uncle my sister when she was 10. He was convicted and did jail time. He has 8 siblings, one being my father. Mother, nieces, nephews, etc., and none of them believed my sister despite all the evidence. I cut them all off, and every now and then I get a random Facebook message, but as far as I'm concerned, they are dead to me. That's all unforgivable. Yes.
All of them.
That's unforgivable.
I agree if it's conclusive evidence.
He went to jail.
Yeah, he went to jail, so obviously there was...
All you need is a testimony.
Family estrangement. The process by which family members become strangers to one another, like intimacy reversed, is still somewhat taboo, but in some circles, that's changing. In recent years, advocates for the estranged have begun a concerted effort to normalize it. Mm-hmm. Getting rid of the stigma, they argue, will allow more people to get out of unhealthy family relationships without shame. This is an extreme example, honestly.
I mean, there's other examples there.
But if we're talking, okay, sorry, because Marie asks, does it have to be
that extreme
for you to go
no contact?
Why don't you read another short one just to have it on the other side?
Yeah, like balanced, I guess. Okay.
Pick one.
I guess.
Number 3 is 1 or 3, whatever.
Number 3?
3 at 3.
Okay.
He's skinny.
I cut contact with my abusive brother when I was 18, and my mother was in and out of my life till about 4 years ago. She still tries to contact me, but I ignore it. It was the best decision for my mental health and stopping the cycle of abuse from being carried on with my children. It's been amazing not having to deal with drama every week.
That's fair.
It's actually really...
It is fair.
Run of the mill.
Yeah, common.
Very common.
Yeah.
So I think what they're calling it now is detachment. And I guess that's a new word for it, detachment, instead of...
No, they calling it no contact.
No contact? Is no contact detachment, Marie? Same thing?
I think it is, but I think the current term for it is no contact.
Okay, so then...
So it is detachment, obviously.
Yeah. I think if you're going through anything that is disturbing your mental health to the point where you're disturbed, you shouldn't have an issue with getting rid of it, because it's not like you're emotional and you miss the person. You could just be addicted to the comfort of having somebody around, but they're really treating you like shit. So you shouldn't. That no contact is anything for me personally. It's not.
Sometimes you gotta go no contact to be successful.
Ooh, let's talk about that.
And,
that's actually a
lot of times people's family or their surroundings, and I'm going to assume the family or immediate family are the reason why they're, or a contributing factor to them being hindered and not obtaining their goals. And sometimes you got to cut off that excess fat. That could be your brother, your sister, your uncle, your aunt, your mother, your father. And
whoever.
Yeah, and a lot of people who have been successful had to go through that process of having no contact, especially if you're coming from an area and your family's coming from an area where there isn't a lot of success there in that area. And sometimes the only way to silence the noise is to remove it. And then that way you can focus on your goals or dreams, and you can do it, with a clear head and hopefully obtain it. Now you can come back and try to help them. And if they're receptive to that help, then obviously you can keep them around. But if they're not receptive when you come back, then they're only going to fuck your shit up. So sometimes it's best to still keep no contact even after you obtain those goals, just so you can sustain your success.
I want to just...
Why did you say your success twice?
Because I kind of, in post, they can chop it up and clear it up.
They won't.
I want to interject just to sort of play devil's advocate. Sometimes when you have successes, you want to celebrate with people, or when you do something big, you want to the people who actually did a lot for you coming up. So like whether it's your auntie, your godmama, or your mom, your dad, like whoever, you want to like reach back and do something for them because but for whatever they did, you wouldn't be where you are. How do you sort of deal with those feelings of wanting to bring them back or cut the no contact? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like bring them back in. I don't want to say bring them back into the fold, but contact them and sort of like express gratitude, celebration. Like, you know what? Wherever we are now, I know what you did for me. And I just want you to know that I thank you and I appreciate you. And, here's whatever because of my appreciation. Like how do you sort of have those two worlds work together?
I don't think they always have to, because what if the no contact stemmed from them thinking you should be doing more for them already before you got to that point? So you already saw that they weren't appreciating you at the beginning and they weren't there for you like through the grind and everything like that. So just going back and giving something back to them could be looked at two ways. As like, oh, big shot, look at you. We don't need your help. Who do you think you are? And are you doing it for the right reasons? Because I know you're saying you want to give back, but are you giving back from like a selfish place inside because you feel guilty that you left them?
No, I'm really just saying like when I think, because there's literally a person who has impacted my life incredibly. And I literally do not talk to her. Mm-hmm. But if she died today, there is nothing that would take away from what I know that she put into my life. Or like her being like an integral part of like my success. So if I was to, make it big or just doing whatever, even though I don't fuck with her like that, I would still like do something nice for her. Like, I don't know, do you want a pool at your house? Or do you want like your such and such paid off? Or, because at the end of the day, I know for a fact, but for that person, I would not be where I am. And fucked up as they may be, super fucked up, you know. And if I'm not talking about my mama, just I don't want nobody, because I'm saying her, she, not my mama. But like, as fucked up as that person may be, like I still can appreciate like, you know, what they did. And I sort of like compare it to, you know, when kids appreciate the strictness of their parents once they're older, but their parents probably took it overboard. They're a little abusive. You know what I mean? But it's like you still, but for your parents having that stronghold in your life, you wouldn't have the sort of discipline or the sort of ambition or whatever in your life to be, you know, like what you have become.
I think it's important to pay homage.
But how do you do it without, like, if you have a no contact in place, I'm saying, like, how do you do it? That's sort of what I'm asking.
I mean, for me personally, there's people that, I mean, the way I grew up, there's people that protected me, looked after me. There's people that, when my back was against the ropes, they was the ones that helped me really keep on scratching and crawling, you know? And even though there's shit that has happened that, you know, made me say, yo, you know what? I can't rock with you, you know? You put me in other positions that almost costed me my life, you know? I still am able, throughout the years, I was still able to say, I'll send that message. Or if I don't got their number, I'll send a DM or I'll send a Facebook message and I'll say, listen, and I'll keep it blunt. I'm not saying that we're cool. I'm not saying that we will ever be cool, but just know I truly do appreciate a lot of the things that you've done for me. And I personally have not had that situation where it backfired, which I know it probably exists. But for me, I never had that. I mean, the biggest debt that I've had amongst all my successes was my little brother, right?
You got a little brother?
Yeah. He's my half brother, but still my little brother, right?
Oh.
So
You got a little brother.
He never like him and my father married and
okay.
another child.
Yeah.
Now I knew him, and you know, I even went down to Florida for a summer with them, and I spent time with him. And you know, so as a kid, I knew I grew up with him like here and there, right, for, you know, a few years. And as he became an adult, I didn't speak to him much. Why? Because he was a kid and I'm already out of high school and I'm working, I'm grinding, I'm chasing my dreams and establishing my things, and I'm silencing the noise. Now, once I was able to I had 5 stores at one point, and I wanted him.
Like your coats?
Yeah, and I wanted him to be a manager of my store in New York. So he was like maybe 19 or 20. And I said, yo, you know what? I want to put you in position. You know, he was making a lot of money a week, plus I was paying his tolls and his parking. Going to New York, that's very expensive.
Oh, it is.
And
it is. Them tolls.
Yeah, just the tolls alone, right? But actually the parking was crazy. It's like $500, right? For the month. So anyways, I gave him that opportunity, you know, and I'm like, this is all you got to do. I'm going to teach you the business. I'm going to teach you how this works. I'm going to put you in on game, so then that way you can either stay with us or you can use it and do your own thing. But this is the opportunity for you to learn, and you're going to get paid.
How much younger is he than you?
So he's about 7 years, 6-7 years.
Okay.
So at that point, he's like, all right, cool. You know, so, but then he was just fucking shit up. Doing everything that he shouldn't be doing, right? Just like our fucking dad. So, and I had to tell him, I gave him like 3 strikes. And then I said, yo, you're fired, bro. You're fired. I can't have you in my business acting this way. You know? And I said, drop the keys off we had another store in the mall. I said, drop the keys off at that store because I'm not around. And that's it. You collect your last check on Friday. The check will be there at that store as well. And so, you know, I put my father and him in the group chat, and I said, listen, this is the circumstances. This is what's been transpiring, and this is the result. And my dad told me, he's like, yeah, you're an asshole, blah, 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 blah. And I said, no, this is business, and your son is fucking up my business. So I say that to say, ever since that moment, I haven't had contact with either of them again. Now, mind you, I was doing that favor because that's my family, you know? And I felt like if I didn't give an opportunity to my family, then how real is my success?
How long ago was this?
2021 or 20? It's about 3-4 years ago.
Decent amount of time.
Right. So yeah, up until this day.
Yeah, I know. But mind you, I wasn't speaking to them like that already.
Beforehand.
I was already hustling. And the thing is, I know the people who are distracting. And if you want to be oblivious, and I say this all the time, we tend to make
Very
excuses
true.
for people.
Yeah.
Because you're my mom, you're my dad, you're my cousin, you're my brother, you're my sister. No, you're a fucking distraction. And I can't progress if you're in my ear telling me about stupid ass drama that's going to provoke my emotions. I care about you enough so then that way you know I have a sister who doesn't tell me shit and I kind of get mad about it, but I appreciate it because she knows if I tell him, it's going to knock him off his horse. You know what I'm saying? So some of your family are the ones that you really love and hold closest, you have to go no contact. And then when you try to revisit and give them an opportunity, you have to understand that opportunity was for you and they're not ready for it.
Yeah.
But you kind of even slipped up a little bit when you said business is business. And I mean, it is true. You should have never put Pops in a group chat to say this is what it is.
But that was after the fact. I think he was just trying to show that, like, I'm not trying to be, I'm trying to be fair about this. And I want everybody on the same page because I don't want a narrative being stated to this person and that person and whatever. And it's not all the same because that creates a whole nother issue when you got one situation with 7 stories about it.
Yeah.
I mean, true, but that could have been talked about, maybe more on a family setting. But the group chat to me is like you made it a family issue. Like this is what he's been doing at work, and
It's not an issue. It was the conclusion. There's a big difference.
But I think that he was doing it so that like his daddy can't come back to him and be like, oh, X, Y, and Z, yo brother, yo this. He's literally trying to he's trying to be like,
Respect.
this is what it is, above board, X, Y, and Z. Because personally, like that's what like when you like CC everybody on the team at your job. They don't need to know, but you don't want no misunderstandings about what's going on. Mm-hmm. Because don't come asking me no dumbass questions about the situation.
And that I understand, but
it's the same thing.
Yeah, except this was.
I don't think that that's the same thing because his dad doesn't have anything to do with it.
No, he did. He played it. He played a part in the whole thing. You know what I'm saying? So.
And that was, I mean, maybe it wasn't obvious to you, but it was obvious to me. So, like, it was, his daddy was a part of it.
I did leave out some details like background, but he was a part of it. Obviously to even get him on board, I had to speak to both of them and I told them both what was the game plan, what was my strategy. I'm trying to give them a lane to, I'm not saying they weren't doing bad, but they wasn't doing nearly half the shit I was doing, right? So here you go. I'm going to do something. And mind you, none of them have contributed to any success that I've acquired in my life. Not a single dollar, right? So, they were all on board and that's how I work. I like transparency amongst the whole thing. Okay. You know. This is there's no confusion.
All right.
And I think that's the issue because how you would handle something isn't necessarily how she would handle it. And because of that, she can't, I'm not saying you can't right now, but some people can't move off their point and you see it as just strictly business, cut and dry. And you may be like, okay, but he was your father and you know what I mean? You might see another angle.
Well, maybe I just missed those details because if
I think
there was conversation.
I think he didn't add it, that's why. I just sort of assumed.
Yeah, so. If there was conversations between brother and father in bringing him in, then I would see why there was like, okay, once he's fired, let me have that conversation with both of them so that they know what happened. But if it was just like wanting to let my father know what happened just off the strength of him being my father, I wouldn't have done that because this is my business and I'm going to do what I'm going to do anyway.
But they got to go. He has to go home at the end of the day and answer those questions while he's going to work. Right. So, and then there's a responsibility that you have even as an older brother or as a boss, to give some type of information out. Obviously, there's a little bit, more strings attached in that scenario simply because we are blood related. But my thing is, going back to the topic, no contact is so essential. And sometimes don't bump your head more than once when you try to reach back out. You only bump your head one time, and then after that, I'm going right back on no contact. And not only am I on no contact, you can't get in contact even if you try. So I'm completely exiled myself from any way, in shape, or form for you to get in contact with me. It's impossible, And I think that's another thing. People want to be in a no contact situation or want to have a no contact within a situation, but yet make themselves accessible. Right. Then they might, and I'm not saying change your phone number, but let's just say they keep the same number.
Never change my phone number.
Okay, yeah, I'm not doing all that.
Yo, I would change my address, my phone. I change my ID.
If it needs to be that extreme, I can see someone going to the extremes. But I mean, I guess situationally, I wouldn't have to do that. I think I'm very good at no contact. I'm excellent.
I have to stop you right there because I think that you have people that you can get to like that. So my cousins or aunties or whatever, they know they can't call me with that. Because they'll be like, if they call me, I'll be like, but I said I'm not going. So why are you calling my phone? You know what I mean? But I have other cousins who are more susceptible to another cousin or maybe like somebody, grandma, grandpa, or auntie or somebody like calling you and like asking you like, hey, are you doing this? Are you going to do that? Or why aren't you doing this? Or why aren't you doing that? People know who they can pull that stuff with.
Right.
And I think one, and I've seen, y'all know this, but like, I think that people, one, they automatically associate me with my dad.
I was just about to say, she gonna say something about her daddy.
Right, like, I'm my daddy.
Like, let me just wait.
No, seriously. Well, that's how I looked at you. Like, I'm my daddy's child. Like, they know, like, if they're gonna call somebody with some bullshit, it won't be David Campbell's child. You know what I mean? They gonna call one of the other kids. You know what I'm saying?
Do the gossiping.
Yeah.
Don't call me with family gossip.
Like, or they'll call me and see what I gotta say. But like, as far as like trying to pressure me into doing something, they already know. Like, because they know my daddy. They know I'm not the one. You know what I'm saying? And even
I don't have no family gossip.
Oh, there's gossip. There's
You're
always
just not in it yet. You still 22.
Yeah.
No, you're right, because I am younger. Most of my family is like my mom's family. Like my cousins are my mom's cousins. So they talk amongst the elders.
Yeah, and you can get in where you fit in.
Yeah, I just gotta.
Yeah.
She be fucking eavesdropping.
And I'll even say this, like, because I'm one of the older grandkids, I've had a chance to like establish myself like as a real person. They were like, Erin, she cool, but we don't really fuck with her like that. On that, you know what I'm saying? On that level. Because like, don't call me no bullshit. You know what I mean? And Rico said this, Rico said this months, weeks, whatever, but he was like,
a few episodes ago, go watch them.
You know who you can pull that foolishness with. Mm-hmm. It ain't everybody. You know,
my own mom would call me, right? My mom and my sister had beef for like, I don't know, 6 years, maybe even longer. I'm not sure.
They wasn't talking?
No, they was talking, but they wasn't talking. But they was
fight?
talking. They was fighting like over like the phone.
I seen my mama and my grandma fight before.
That's fire. My grandma, my grandma, and my mom.
That would be a core memory for me. I'm not gonna lie.
It's core.
Go ahead, Grams.
I remember it. Like you got somebody with my attitude, like fuck out of here, and you got somebody like who's a fucking firecracker. Like I don't give a fuck. Like my grandma, like and their daughter, their mother and daughter, like they both with the shits. Like that's the thing. Like.
But that happens though.
Core fucking memory. Well, and my cousins don't know about this shit. They wasn't around, you know. But again, everybody think my grandma, she's so cute. Cute as fuck. Sweet as hell.
Fucking throwing them hands though.
A fucking fire starter and finisher.
But do you think that's part of the problem where people's
Yeah, she a problem. Well, she was a problem.
Well, I think
people are too not stubborn, but how you can you can go no contact with somebody, but maybe you're so much alike where nobody's willing to give. Kind of like two stubborn people, right? And you're both so stubborn that you're holding each other back from actually growing. So you have to one of you have to cut each other off in order.
But you're no contact. So someone.
But I'm saying, whoever's cutting the other person off and initiating the no contact, I think that person probably feels like they're being selfish.
Oh, okay.
In some way, somehow, but they're doing it from a place of wanting to just kind of like grow and.
I don't know, child. For me, it's hard to say I'm going no contact and then have somebody interfere with that.
But I
Hell
think
no.
the no contact thing, I feel if you struggle with boundaries, you're gonna struggle with no contact.
Exactly.
No contact.
That is it right
Simple.
there. Period.
I personally
Say it again. One more time.
If you struggle with boundaries, you're gonna struggle with no contact. I
Period.
personally don't struggle with boundaries.
Yeah.
It's take it.
Can we do can we do a questionnaire? Do you struggle with boundaries?
Yes.
So
you struggle with boundaries?
I
Yes.
can see that. So perhaps you may have an issue with no contact.
But you know what? When I get into it and like when I decide that this person,
There's a difference between deciding and fed up. Some people finally strengthen their boundaries when they're fed up.
correct.
You've been decided, but you've been
Oh,
wavering.
you're right.
And now
Yeah.
you're fed up. That's the difference.
You're right. Yeah.
You're right, because once I am fed up, that's what makes me so good at no contact. Because I don't want to talk to you. Now it's my
You needed
get
that
fed up.
pressure then. You needed that pressure from that other person to do that.
yeah. You're
As
right.
opposed to like, you could just be tired and be strong and do the shit yourself.
Right.
So I feel like there's people out there that are just strictly energy vampires. That all they're put on this earth to do is suck the life out of somebody. And if you are that victim, then that's you.
And it's me like, no, they're not a vampire. They're human. They're mortals.
No, seriously.
They're not a vampire.
Yeah.
Now, I walk around with my repellent
Repellent.
Yeah.
every day.
Lavender oil in this bitch.
I got hella garlic on me.
I said onions. Garlic.
Well, no, because he done had a spray.
Yeah.
And there be people around you like, yo, take the garlic. I'm like, no, I don't like that smell.
And then they be like, bite the hell out your neck.
Well, they're gonna keep coming back to see if you change.
They will.
To see if you're gonna finally give in.
That's an Aquarius trait. You know,
What is?
we don't abide by the no contact when it's on us. Whatever, I'll find a way around this shit. Like, I see a little crease right here. Chip away just a little bit, and we find our way back in.
I don't like people like
only,
that.
It's only for a short amount of time because
I've
you know what?
definitely dealt with a Sagittarius that continuously did that to me.
No, he wasn't the right one.
No.
Like, that means she was the no contact. Like,
He didn't decide it was.
yeah, exactly, yeah.
This is full contact.
Sagittarius, like a Sag cut you off.
It's like this.
You just dead.
Anything like after that is like just oblivion.
Yeah.
Like just it doesn't fucking exist. Literally.
That's how I am too. Yeah.
Yeah, but you got to love yourself more because you probably love yourself more than that person that you have to stay away from them. So you can love that person, but like if that person's dangerous to you and is affecting your business, is affecting your mental health and everything you got going for yourself, then who do you love more? Because at some point in time, you got to ask yourself, like, how long are you going to let this energy vampire be in your life and not do their own inner work to stay in your life?
Oh, they know I don't
Figure
be
that shit out.
They're like,
What you
duh.
want to do?
Ain't shit different from last weekend.
Like when I was in college, like my best friend in college, he would literally have these girls come and pick us up. Like it would be like we would be wasted. And it would be like these girls that like, they were interested in him, they wanted him, whatever. And he'd be like, yeah, can you come pick us up? They thinking they finna come and pick up like him from 6th Street. Like 6th Street is like the main street in Austin or whatever. And it's like me and then like his roommate. We're all wasted. Like
That's the best way.
like they brought us tacos and like it was amazing. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to all you ladies that love him. I'm not gonna say his name, but you know who he is.
And that's why I had a problem with the other segment.
Yes.
Because the real ones don't get the ones in poverty to do things.
What do you mean?
Because she wouldn't have had a
ones
car.
that was getting you tacos and all that shit.
She wouldn't have.
She wasn't in poverty.
They didn't have a car to
We
pick
were in
y'all up.
college, like
Yeah, but it starts there. That's
Tacos
the
was the
foundation.
cheapest
I think my friend was. I think my homeboy was in poverty, so they was trying to rescue us.
He was finessing the finesse. You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't in no poverty, baby. I had extra money.
He was in
I had
poverty.
extra money.
I was around.
Conservative.
I was around, and like it was kind of like you gotta like my friend too. If
That's
you
cool,
know,
yeah.
so-
I'm with that.
I wonder how he repaid them.
that ain't got nothing to do with me. I don't shit.
Sometimes you didn't have to.
Yeah,
Oh, he repaid them.
But you know what?
had
I
nothing to
think
do with me.
I
In
know.
our community,
I just ate my tacos and just.
in our community, we tend to say, if I have to choose me or you, I'm still gonna choose you.
That's
Right?
the fucked up part.
And that's why we make these exceptions, and that's why we don't.
Are you talking about your Jersey community?
No, I'm talking about our Black African American
Oh.
community. Again, the Black community, we're taught if we start choosing ourselves, we're the bad Black person in our community. Every other community, the white guy, the Spanish guy, they can make millions and then they can choose them and their families and exile everything else and they get praised. The second we start choosing ourselves, it's the issue.
Can I interject? I think it's because we start from a different base.
I agree.
I think they start from a communal base, meaning like it was like 17 families in one 5-bedroom house. So it's like everybody literally has come up from the same place, and then when you get to wherever you're gonna reside, wherever your efforts lead you, wherever your smarts lead you or whatever, that's where you are. And then at that point, you can make those selfish decisions. Whereas I think that we come more from a place of scarcity where we haven't had a chance to have these group economics.
Yeah.
And have 17 of us living in a 5-family house.
But we also don't make the efforts to do it and are willing to do it either.
Well, but and so I was about to touch on that. So I think part of it is you have to understand again where Black Americans, descendants of the transatlantic slave trade, where that comes from. It's not just we didn't just fucking think of this shit. It comes from like where we actually come from. So it's like, hey, we've been living in these houses with 10 other people all our lives, and it's like, cool. Like it's like saying like I'll give you a perfect example. My mother, my mom, her mom has like 14 siblings, right? So when you have a lot of siblings, there's a lot of fucking first cousins and grandkids or whatever, and depending on where you fall, 9 times out of 10, the younger ones are gonna be helped by the older ones. Because you've established your family earlier, you've got like a house earlier, this, that, and the other. And so my mom's mom was one of the younger ones, and she was always the cool auntie. Her and my grandfather were like, if you ran into a problem, you can go live with Aunt Neat and Uncle Earl. Like, there's literally not one person in my family who has never lived with my grandparents. Literally, like if you did not live with them, you were in the minority. Like that's how it was. And so I think that when you have like lived your whole life with your whole family being around you, and like say like the next stage in your life, you don't want that. It's kind of probably you're probably looked down on, or like people looking at you like, why you want to be like that? But it's like, hey, I've lived my whole life with everybody else. I've always had to share my space. I've always had to do this. So it's like, why can't I just have me and my family? Me and my fucking kids and my spouse. Like, you know what I mean?
I agree, but I'll say like, I think that's the difference between the South and up here. Up here, you by yourself. Everybody's a lone wolf. I feel like
okay.
Up here, we were never living together. You know what I'm saying? Up here, you out the house by your own, struggling at 18. Mm-hmm. So I think when we look,
that's very much a
northern thing.
Well, I'm just saying, like, it's very much different. Yeah.
And I think
Some people,
I'm speaking.
not all.
I'm speaking from.
A man is like, baby, I ain't leaving the house.
No,
The economy is bad.
but you actually.
No, I'm telling you, don't leave.
But you actually can't.
Don't fucking leave.
You were fortunate enough to grow up in this time because that was not accepted in 2000.
But for girls, you think?
They should have had a man by then.
You think so?
In 2000, I would say if you was 27 in 2000, you should have been somewhere else and not at home. But in 2025 or 24, it's, relatively different. So you're fortunate. And I think that, growing up in the area that I've grown up in, the northern area, East Coast, there was no like community. The community was
I didn't realize that, honestly.
You was on your own. And if you struggled, we struggling too. We all struggling. So I think that
when it was like quit begging.
Yeah. Quit begging it.
No, because everybody gotta figure it out for their
shit here. None of us got it. You don't, I don't, we don't, but we chilling together.
There was something that I saw on Twitter not too long ago.
It's not how
and it's like this woman.
Y'all are, in my opinion, and I don't know a lot of people from the South, but I do know that my girl was originally from Dallas, right? And knowing her
born there?
Yeah. Knowing her family and the people that I know from Texas, specifically that type of Southern, they are way more family oriented than New York, New Jersey area.
Tight knit.
Yeah, they're way more family oriented. I think over here is more so every man for himself, or even woman.
I actually didn't know that.
And so that's just my opinion from my own experience.
Question, and I know you're Caribbean, like your mom is Dominican or whatever. Well, so that's what I was about to ask.
I was like, yeah, that's maybe a Caribbean thing because these American parents, they're brutal.
That's literally what I was about to ask.
I'm from Little Dominican Republic of New Jersey. All right, everybody's by themselves, right? Like the boys, the girls, the boys. So
everybody gets kicked out.
Everybody is, even if they don't get kicked out, they do their best to leave early.
Baby, my daddy was like, you can come home. I was like, thank you, Dad.
No, you could go back home, but
no, or you can stay home. But you 18 now.
I went to grad school, so I went to college. Obviously, I went to grad school.
You deserve to come home. But imagine a nigga he's not in grad school. He's still selling weed.
My daddy was like, you can come home and I'm gonna pay your bills. I was like, nigga, sign me up. Where the pants at, the shirt, look, sign me up. I was ready.
And the thing is, and also I'm looking at it from a smaller perspective because in the areas that I'm actually speaking of, most of the people are not productive, right? There's not a lot of success that's being acquired or obtained. There's not a lot of progression on the individual basis. So I can understand why they like get out. You going to jail, you coming back, you get arrested at 17, you get out, then you get arrested again at 19. I'm not going to keep on being your parent.
Fair.
So maybe I'm looking at it from that perspective, but at the same time, that just goes to show that everybody has that, I feel like a lot of the people, a lot of their peers are dealing with the same type of situations and having the same outcome. So it's not a one person thing, it's a community thing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. So this woman on Twitter, she had tweeted something along the lines of saying, when you become successful or like however successful you become in your career, you do not owe it to your family to take care of them. Like it's a little like entitled for your family to feel like because you're getting money now that you have to.
I think who's the family? Who's she talking about? Like
your sisters, whatever siblings, whatever siblings you got or whatever. Because like, say if you become famous and you start making a lot of money, or
what if I'm not famous but I do make a lot of money?
Okay, well let's take famous out of it then.
Okay,
you're rich, right?
Rich or wealthy?
I knew.
Like, it's a bunch of different. You know what I'm saying? Do I have
wealthy?
Okay, wealthy. You're making a lot of money, and I would
enough to share.
What's a lot?
Enough to share that you can use to help family, but you don't have to. I think that was the point of the tweet.
Rich, not wealthy.
That was the point of the tweet, and wealthy, people in the comments, because I was like, I agree with that. She doesn't have to because she has money, but if she has enough to help out those who need help, she'll do that. But the comments were like, oh no, you're wrong. That's not how I grew up. Like, if you win, the whole family wins. And I'm just like,
The whole family?
yeah, I don't need.
What's whole?
I was like, okay,
I didn't get no graduation gift from you.
Right.
Sorry.
Like, I understand what
You didn't even
people were
celebrate my
saying,
fucking college graduation. You better go somewhere.
But I was just like, yeah, not everybody was in the mud with you while whatever you did to get all this money.
Don't ask me.
But and it's just like, yes, if she wants to, yeah, she can help out whoever she pleases.
I'm gonna let y'all answer this because
But
I already know what
it really, her success does not mean everyone's success. It doesn't.
Gentlemen, like, I don't want to be.
So here's my issue with the word family, right? Because we tend to use the word family for people who are blood related to us. So I actually got so mad about this shit. So I did some digging in about in regards to
Is it relatives?
The origin of family. And the origin of family has nothing to do with relations of blood. It has to do with the people who are serving the same household. Okay? So I say that to say my cousin is not my family. My aunt and my uncle are not my family.
Wait, are you talking about like textbook definition you went searching
for? The
for?
actual origin definition of family that we have now changed.
What is it like? Is it like Latin or something?
It's a mixture it comes from familia. Familia is actually what means the people who serve the same household, servants of the household, right? So if you don't live in my house, you are not my family. So I don't give a fuck if you Auntie Jessie, Auntie Sherry, Uncle Tom.
Can I just help you with that?
Yeah. But hold on, let me finish.
I just want to give you a word because this happens a lot when people establish their own families. The other people become relatives.
Yep.
And that's where and
that makes sense.
Exactly.
Because now you're no longer my family because we're not serving the same household. This is the actual definition, not the feeling and emotional definition. So people got to understand like what family is. So those people who are considering themselves their family because they're relatives are misconstruing their position in your life. And a lot of times they feel as if you need to serve them, a portion of your success. But realistically, they didn't help you. They just related to you. Literally. They're relatives. So my thing is like the word family gets used so loosely.
It does.
And we don't even know what it really means. So if you're my family, yeah, I got you. We serve that same household together. Everybody, us four, us three, But the ones that are not, yo, you gone.
So that would be me to do the no contact thing with.
Exactly. Even sometimes your family, you got to do no contact in that same house too.
Yeah.
Ask.
Yeah, the same thing you just said.
Would that be easier to do the no contact theory with?
You're so funny.
You didn't get it? You didn't get because that second question was terrible.
Yeah.
Because he's like, wait, what? Like, yeah, just the same question.
So this is something that I have viewed, and I necessarily didn't grow up this way. So seeing this was sort of different for me. So like I grew up, my grandma got like all these fucking siblings, all these fucking first cousins. Me and my second cousins, we literally grew up like first cousins because we're all the same age. Our parents are all all around the same age. And these like, oh, these are my family members, right? But then you start to see people start to siphon, I guess, or like separate themselves when they create their own families. Your own family is a family that you create. It's your spouse, it's your children, it's your grandchildren, so on and so forth. And then the other people, they become your relatives because you are still related to them. Y'all still got the same DNA. If something happened and they be like, oh, this piece of land here got $1 gazillion worth of oil on it, it's gonna be all the relatives, you know what I'm saying? All the heirs, but that's not your family. Your family is literally like the family that you create. And I think that a lot of times that we've sort of been like disillusioned about what family means, And I think that like we have first cousins who we grow up with like siblings. So yes, now they are our family because we're lock and step. We're like this. This is now like my brother. if something happens to me, he's gonna take care of my kids or take care of my mom or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So, so what I'm saying is like at that point, we've selected each other to serve the same house.
Yes.
Like Rico said. Like if something happens, let's say to my mom, and you know, me and my brother and our spouses, and let's say like I got 2 first cousins that were very close to my mom, we all serve the same house. So now them 2 cousins who are really my relatives, they're my family now because we're all serving under the same thing.
And that's,
I mean, but it makes complete sense.
think about like just the history of it, right? Well, first of all, we actually touched on it now earlier when we said we have people who have 8 to 10, 15 people in the same 5-bedroom house. That's a family. They are all serving the same house. When you have these people who have, you know, these huge, you know, 100, 200 year old mansions that all of their family has lived in. The grandfather, the great grandfather, the grandfather, the kids, or you know, the father, the sons,
everybody.
Yeah, the grandsons, the great, everybody lived in this goddamn house. That is a family. But when we
you're right, because they're all the heirs and they all serve the same name, and yeah, you're right.
Thing. But when you start breaking off the family, now you say, fuck it, I'm gonna go get my own house. I'm gonna get my own space. And you're only getting an 800 square foot apartment, by the way.
In New York.
And you're going
in New Jersey, not in Houston.
Well, yeah, in New Jersey. New York, it's 450 square foot.
All right.
And it's a lot. What, 450?
450?
Oh, 450 is a lot in New York? That's why I would never live there. But I say that to say, you're leaving the family to pay more to have less, which doesn't make sense.
So it no longer serves the family.
It doesn't serve the family. Now you're your own family.
That's a good point.
Right? So now if everybody, like let's just say me and my siblings, and let's say we all put up $2,000 a month.
And your brother.
Yeah, all my siblings. For me and all my siblings put up $2,000 a month under the same house, hypothetically.
The shit paid off in 3 years.
We got collectively what, $8,000 coming in. Just the kids. Just the kids. So basically, if I were to put all my family, well, they're not my family now, but I put all my siblings and my parents and even the extended parents, we'd probably be about roughly $16,000 to $20,000 if everybody did $2,000
a month.
A month per month.
So how do we get away from group economics?
We'll keep it.
I'll say I'll give my opinion on this, and I'm not saying it's correct or whatever. I think that we got away from group economics because you do group economics when you're struggling. When you're struggling, when you're trying to make a way, when you're trying to like combine funds to make a certain thing happen. And I think that like, I'll just say this, Black Americans, and I know a lot of y'all Caribbean, so y'all have a different experience from me, but I think that Black Americans, when we look at where we've come from to where we are, it is a huge leap with no fucking help. I mean, like when you think of getting it out of the mud, it is ADOS Black people from then to now. Like it's a huge leaps and bounds of like everything that has been accomplished. And I think that as you accomplish and you acquire skills and you acquire assets, it's like, okay, why do I not have my own place for my own family? Even if it's just a small shit, like 1,000 square foot house. You know, it could be 6 of y'all in there. You know what I mean? 2 parents, 4 kids. That's a lot of people in 1,000 square feet. You know what I mean? I think that, I don't want to say we feel like we deserve it, but it's like we struggled for so long. It's like, why not?
I don't feel like we won yet to do that. You know, my old business partner, and he was making money, $12 million a year. And he lived with his family and his grandparents and his new fam. So he lived with his parents, his grandparents, his wife, and his kid. And now 2 kids, right? And that's all of
Is he
it.
Caribbean?
No, he's Indian, right? So my thing is, it's like they were making, and all of them were making money. Every one of them. I mean, they didn't have this luxurious,
But I think that luxurious.
I luscious, but luxurious house.
Lush. Get him.
Come on, chime in, laugh. He said it the wrong word.
He's like, I'm better than that. But no, but Rico, you're right. And I'll say that again because I think it's an immigrant thing.
Yeah, I think that. So that's what I'm saying. Is it's also something that I feel as if we've personally, I believe that we become short patient with each other, where we don't even want to live with each other. I've never watched them really, really fight, and I was there every goddamn day.
Oh, baby, they was fighting.
Of course, but their fights.
Not in front of Rico.
Nah.
They
were.
That was
Nah, the thing is,
What is wrong with this girl?
I've learned,
I mean, honestly, like I have no idea, but like
I've learned that.
it's like give him some rice and let him leave, and then
I
we're
realized that their fights,
Rice.
even when they fought, it was never a fight. You know what I'm saying? It was a disagreement, and I feel like with us,
Give
we will
him some
fight to
curry.
the fucking death. And I'm not saying that they won't either, but you know, I just feel like we don't have enough patience to live with each other for a long enough period of time.
I just don't think we're all on the same page. I think that they come, not they, but I think
come.
yeah.
Hands raised.
people come over here from other countries and they automatically know the plan. Like we are coming over here to make a better life for our longevity, our legacy.
Period.
And I think
And you got to pay back the people that brought you over here.
that part. And I think, especially what you said earlier, just being from the tri-state area, my mom and them, they could live down south. They lived in Virginia and they lived in like my grandma's house and my granddaddy's house. But I was thinking about it. Once I turned 17, I wasn't thinking about living with my brother. You know, he had his own life and I was like, I got to do what I got to do. So
Was he
older.
He was here?
He was 7 years older. But he had his job and everything. And I never thought of like, oh, we should get a place together and get a house together. It was kind of like, listen, survive.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? Like my dad and his brothers, so there's 5 of them or 4 of them, and then the youngest person is their sisters. That's 5 total. But like they all live together. My dad was the oldest. So him and like the one under him, they lived together. My grandpa helped him get a house.
Mm-hmm.
Never had to. My dad is literally never like, until he got old and he's living in an apartment, he's never rented a thing in his life. Literally, he owned a house at like 18. Right.
But I think at some point in time, there was a plan in place.
Well, yeah, because my grandfather was like, either y'all can't live here. Y'all gotta get get yourself something, but I'm gonna help y'all get y'all what y'all need. You know what I mean? But my siblings, not my siblings, my dad's siblings, they all lived together at some point. Like I remember there was a property that my dad owned. There was 2 houses on it, and like my dad lived in one house, and then 2 other brothers lived in the other house.
That's how I want to live. I want a compound.
I don't know about all that, but
I want everybody.
It sounds good
If
in
I could,
theory. Every time I see it, it's like, it sounds good.
Nah.
as long as you ain't got no fucking nosy ass, like
I'll be nosy, but if I could, I would take Alan's house and then I'll put that right next door to mine. I like everybody in arm's reach. I think we just want so much privacy that it actually makes us distant from the people that we need to be building with.
And you grew up with them too.
And you grew up with them.
Yeah.
So like, I want my privacy so much that I don't want to build with my family. So now my family now becomes relatives.
And then you build that with your family that you have now. Your
I mean,
girl
some of
and
them
your
well,
baby.
actually,
Build shit.
I do want to go back to mental health, and that doesn't have to be like anything drastic happened with you and your family, but privacy is important to some people. Like growing up with siblings, not having your own space.
when there's too many siblings.
Like, come on, like they're yearning for the time that they can actually like live on their own and have their own privacy. Like, Imagine they're talking about, okay, the next step is for all of us to be like, hold on.
But
Like, it's like, no. And it's just like, I get the benefit of it. I was just saying, like, I understand, like, the benefit of it, but some people's mental capacity they don't want to I don't even want to say they don't want to understand. They understand, but they rather still do what's best for them mentally.
You rather struggle and have a new trauma.
That's what I say.
You rather struggle
and it's not, but it's not anything that will possibly have them struggling. They can probably afford to be on their own. It would benefit them to have a family compound.
You know that most people can't even afford to separate, let alone be on their own.
I'm gonna be honest. I don't know if any of y'all have this experience, but like when I go home to Houston, even though I have property there, like I stay at my mama's house. Literally, when I walk out of my mom's house, to the left is my cousin. In front of me, another cousin. Well, my auntie really. Coming into the neighborhood is like my other cousins, like it's their, like we have our cousin, we have our grandparents in common, but that's her other grandparents coming into like 4 blocks down. On the same block as us, 2 houses that way, my other cousin's grandparents. Like, so when I grew up literally around like everybody that knows me. Like even when I'm home now and I'm just walking the street, doing my exercise, walking my dog or whatever, like they know, they be like, oh, are you a Joe Bear? Yes. Because either I look like my mom or, you know what I'm saying, whatever. Like they know that like I'm
one of them.
Yeah, exactly. And so for me, it means a lot to have that, you know, but I don't know that I would feel the same if I had to live in New York with my husband's family. So I can see how a person would maybe, who's marrying in would maybe not want to, you know, be a part of like the family compound or whatever. I think it would be easier to marry into like our family street situation just because it's just easier.
I don't want nobody across the street from me
or
over on that land or whatever. Because what if I want to do something dramatic, like throw all your shit out the window, and I don't want you to know.
That's what you need, and that's the grounding that
it checks you.
That we need. And when you have too much, I guess, free will,
free space.
Yeah, you just start doing things that you shouldn't be doing. Taking unnecessary risk.
I actually agree with that.
Making poor decisions. Pressure will change your decision-making process.
Pressure?
Yeah, the pressure of your family. Yeah, I mean, as long as the house has... no contact doesn't have to necessarily mean a toxic turnout. No contact could just mean, you know, you just walk by each other. I'm not saying that it's going to be the best.
No, not the house I live in, baby. You better greet me.
Well, the thing is...
I mean, it's harder for you to go no contact with someone you live with.
I'm sorry, you can't be under the same roof I'm in.
I'd have been I'd have been mad at my sister for months and I ain't speak to her.
Yeah, but you're talking about having no contact and setting up a compound, so that's like a business.
Yeah.
You can't.
There's a lot of things going on.
Business partners.
Well, I'm saying that
Rico,
it's definitely
you do
possible.
it.
Anything's possible.
And I mean, look, I'd have been in living situations
worse
where I didn't contact nobody. I mean, there was no speaking. So if I'm going to do something that's going to be beneficial, because the thing is, no contact doesn't necessarily mean that there's a problem. No contact could just mean that you're not really helping me progress. I don't like the way you do things.
That's the problem.
What do you mean?
No, but
I don't have a
you
problem
going
with you. I just don't like the
non-contact
way you
with
do
someone because they affect your mental health. I don't see why you would be going to that same person for a business venture.
Business venture, just not.
No, house, the compound.
Yeah, it's like it's not.
But if this is someone that has an effect on my mental health, I don't want to grow together.
But you remember this word or saying, "It don't take it personal." It's just business. So my thing is, me being upset with you has nothing to do about it. Now, if we're in a small house, I could see how it could be a problem.
What's small?
like, let's say 1,500 square feet, right? So now let's say if we...
So 3,000, you can do it?
I'm at a point where it's like, nah, I could do 5,000 square feet, all right? 5,000 square feet, my own entry, my own exit, and we're good. And, a kitchen over here and a kitchen over there. Shit, worst case scenario, we swap rooms. All right, your room is going to be on this side. All right, cool, I'm going to switch my room to this side.
And
you
this
go
is
over there.
no contact, you mean?
This is if there was a no contact, yeah.
I'm going to be honest. Like, I'm not really...
Because my thing is no contact doesn't affect me. See, when
contact, I don't even want to see your face,
that's
honestly. And that's me.
No contact doesn't affect me to not want to see you. It doesn't. Once I put you on no contact,
I mean, like, I'd rather not, but it ain't gonna change nothing.
I could walk right past you and whatever.
I'll be avoiding people.
Yeah, but
that person gonna be there.
You're giving the other person the benefit of the doubt. Like, you could be cool with that no contact and live with them. They could be secretly plotting to kill you.
Okay, this question came in. This couple, they were going on vacation. They have one child together. The boyfriend asks the ex-wife if she would be okay watching their child. Is this a problem? Yes or no? Couch, panel, what do we think?
I mean, it seemed like a win to me personally. Let her watch the nigga. Like, I don't care. Like, I mean, really, it's better than like the people on the cruise ship or at the place watching the kid, right?
I mean, I just had one question. Is that his only child? Does him and the ex-wife have a child? Yeah. So that makes sense.
They're just adding one on.
Exactly. So that does make sense to ask her, because if she has the rest of his kids, can you just take this one while we're on vacation?
What if how about this?
I'm cool with it, but if it was the other way around, I'll be fucking tight.
For what?
Because, like, hey, do we ask your ex-husband to watch my son? What's wrong with you?
I've only feel
so
like...
you can stay back.
I only feel like there would be a problem if they don't have a relationship. If girlfriend and ex-wife don't have a relationship, because, I mean, if they both have kids for the same man, I would assume that they have conversations, their children are around each other.
Exactly.
I would just assume that. So maybe if there was a situation where they don't get along or they, didn't have a very personal relationship, that there would be a problem with that. But I mean, other than that, I don't see.
Man, let her watch some fucking kids.
What if we took away the child from the ex-wife? What if it was just him and the new girlfriend had a child and he asked the ex-wife? Now,
but why?
Because the girlfriend knows about the ex-wife, like everything's been cool.
Like they're friends.
They're friends.
Or not friends, they're cordial.
Cordial, yeah. And, there's respect. There's never been any disrespect or anything like that. Would he be wrong by asking her?
I don't know.
I mean, that wouldn't be the first person I would think that he would ask.
If it's the last? What if it's the last person?
But if he went through a couple people and then, she was probably fourth, fifth down the line.
Fucking kid.
Yeah, we found someone. Great, we found someone. Yeah.
Don't bring that kid on a cruise.
Thank you.
But I'm not. It wasn't even a cruise.
It was not a cruise. She said it was a cruise.
I think I did.
Erin definitely did that. But
sorry,
absolutely not.
Well, the answer is let her fucking watch the kids.
Yeah, let her watch the kids.
For Erin.
Why would you not?
No, not for. I think we're all on the same page. Like, let her watch the kid.
But I want to make sure that mine is definitely strictly for my ex-wife to watch the kid. Not your ex-husband. Fuck all that.
Why can't her?
Man, send your kid on.
Well, we all know Rico
wait. Her ex
is okay with him doing things.
No, I wouldn't want that.
Not his partner doing things.
No, I wouldn't want it.
He's a hypocrite. We all know this.
No, I'll be a hypocrite only because everything is in my favor and it favors me, my comfortability in that situation. Really, I don't like the situation.
You should just stay at home and let your girl go on a vacation with her homegirls.
Since you have a problem, you stay with the kid.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like literally,
your job.
Since I have a problem, you stay at home. Me and the kid gonna go.
No,
that's crazy. She gonna be with the ex-husband.
She might as well stay there.
I want to say one thing to like sort of end this off. I think that like if you're a person who generally struggles with boundaries, like as a general matter, having boundaries with your family members is going to be twice as hard. So if you are seeking to have said boundaries, you probably should go to therapy, talk to somebody, sort of try to figure out like how do I create these boundaries with these people that I do still love, but they have fucked me over. Like we're not good on that front, you know? And I think that you have to like make a very like clear distinction between like a boundary with someone who's like, who does you no good, you know, versus somebody like you just don't like, or someone like who just doesn't rub you the wrong way. Like I think you need to make sure that your boundaries are like steadfast so that you can implement them as they need to be implemented, versus kind of like, oh, I'm no contact with that person, but then like you really are. You know what I mean? Because you don't know how to like establish that boundary, you know? Yeah.
Or how to live
without that person. Yeah. I
maintain that boundary.
They be wishing and praying, just, I hope you text me, I hope you message, I hope you call me. But you don't want to talk to them, but you also pray that they do contact you.
Ooh.
That's the wrong
But I think that some people are probably like that because they don't know how to establish a real boundary. I think that's the point you were making, right?
Yep. And they be looking for an excuse for them.
I don't know. Honestly, I would actually love to have a professional's perspective on this, because I think that I think we four, as a general matter, well, you said you had an issue with it, but like,
a little bit.
for the most part, like us three, we're okay with like setting a boundary. I think that comes with age.
Did you even ask Rome?
No, he already said it.
Yeah, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Sorry.
I already know. Like, you ain't got. I didn't even have to ask him. I already know. But I just think that like, outside of like a professional coming to sort of like dissect the matter, I think we are all of like the age and experience level that sort of like diagnoses like where we fall in this whole situation. I mean, so raise your hand if you have no issue with like leaving a nigga alone.
Cut somebody off cold turkey.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Halfway.
But so,
Halfway.
right, but that's what I'm saying. You see what I mean?
Like this.
Like, but I also think that's like that's maturity, that's age, and it's also because we literally sit here every week and talk about shit. We're not just like, a lot of people don't get to express with other people, like-minded or not, what their issues are. But we literally sit here every single week and we're able to like talk through things. And y'all know we don't agree on everything. But when you are able to hear other people's perspectives, other people's logic and rationale on how they arrive at certain positions, I think that helps you in like how you deal with people. So I don't know. Maybe we need a professional next time, because
There's no fucking such.
I don't know. I just no.
Professional. If somebody comes here,
By professional, I mean like, you know, like your therapist or
therapist. Yeah.
And I think we all. Well, I know you see a therapist. I see a therapist. You see a therapist?
I haven't in a while.
Okay, you see a therapist?
No.
Oh,
Jesus is my therapist.
Okay, well, good for you guys. But what I'm saying, Sky Daddy,
Combat that. I dare you to combat that in the
Sky Daddy.
You better leave Jesus alone.
Daddy.
what I am saying is that like I think that if you really are dealing with somebody in your life who you don't think is good for you, follow your first mind. And your first mind is leave them the fuck alone. I can't say that enough, because I think a lot of times, especially like, say if you're like the firstborn, if you're the firstborn daughter also, or if you're Caribbean or immigrant, or like there's so many like different variables where this hits home. And I think that like we're softer on establishing boundaries because we're Caribbean, because we're Black, because we're firstborn daughters. Firstborn daughters have this shit a lot. Like it is a lot. Like I see it often. So all these things that make you who you are probably create a barrier to you being somebody who can actually create that sort of no contact idea, or that no contact
Method.
Yeah. I'm gonna pray for you though, because I just don't see it being easy, especially if you haven't been like groomed to sort of be like, man, fuck what they talking about. You know what I mean? Real again, if I wasn't my daddy's child, I know for a fact I would feel sucked into like family this and family that. Mm-hmm. But
could you possibly, under certain circumstances, have a no contact with your father, given how close y'all are?
It depends on what he did to me. Anybody can get no contact.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, that's good. You know, like, some people will have some really traumatic things happen and still.
Well, I think it would be hard, but the thing is that like I'm very like resolute when it comes to like
standing on it.
You do me wrong, you don't get a fucking second chance with me. That's especially if it's so I can understand if like if it's unintentional. It's like let's say you do something and then it unintentionally affects me. Ooh, we can get over that. But when you do something and it is
supposed to hurt,
yeah, like, and it's intention. That's why I don't fuck with the person I was talking about earlier. And you do something that is supposed to hurt me, and you put it out there to hurt me. Nothing. You get fucking zero from me.
Especially if you talk.
I'm telling you, zero with like a.
With a negative.
Y'all, I'm telling you, you get nothing from me because it's different when you put it out there to hurt somebody. That means you trying to. That's why you have a difference between capital murder and manslaughter. Mm-hmm. That's why. Because one is like you're trying to do it. It's premeditated. You want to do it. You're planning. Manslaughter is like I did something and I killed somebody, but that was never my intention.
I unalived somebody.
Oh, whatever the fuck you want to call it. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about like legal principles. Y'all can, what is this? I don't care. Fucking YouTube, like.
They'll block the whole video.
I got you. Alan will, you know what I'm saying? But I don't care. But I'm just saying like, it is, when it comes to like intentionally hurting me, you
out of here.
I'm sorry. Like I have nothing for it. Nothing. Absolutely nothing. And nothing.
There's some people that
nothing.
Their way of intentionally hurting you is by teaming up with somebody else and spreading that gossip, so they form a team of idiots.
Clicking up with the ops.
Yeah.
Oh.
So if
let me find out.
Talk to somebody.
I'm gonna ruin your.
Who tried to hurt me?
I'm gonna ruin your life.
Both of y'all.
Yeah. Everybody has to go.
Everybody.
Everybody has to go. Right.
Everybody. So everybody's got to go.
Including us.
I'm sorry. Like, we got to go. I'm sorry. Please cut my shit out. Like, I just.
Don't cut her stuff out. And we hope you enjoyed this episode of Usual Cast. And please like, subscribe, and follow. And until next time, have a good night.
Erin, can you just like chill for 2 seconds?
Oh yeah, let Amanda say it.
So this came in.
So this came in.
I'm only mocking. but
okay. So how do we get away from group epilogue?
Who was who?
You see, you don't gotta rush your words.
Wait, we gonna get it warmed up. Hold on. You ready?
I'm ready.
Okay.
How do we get through?
I know.
You trying to do it all, Kyle. So how do we get away from group epilogue?
No, you ready? No, we got shoulders. Right, wait, no.
Thank you.
Blew out a tire.
It's fine. It's okay. So how do we get away from group economics?
Stop. It's not epa.
She laughed it. I got it.
There's not a P. It's a C.
But normally I wouldn't even laugh at you, and you know that.
I know. I got it.
But okay.
Because I didn't raise my hand. That's why. I was saying economics in my hand the whole time. I was like, please don't make me say economics. I got a better way. All right.